All right, I got kind of a weird one today. Where do I start? Let's see, I got a message on Instagram, direct messages from a guy named Tyler. He owns some apartments called First and Pine Apartments. And he was like, I want you to do a couple of really big murals. Here's my phone number, let's chat about it. I call him up, he says, I got 2 6-story light well walls that I want you to put a mural on. So I go there, and light wells, I guess, are these sort of courtyards in the center of apartment buildings that are completely sealed off. The only access is through windows of the apartments, and they just let light into the actual apartment. 3 of the walls have windows on them, 1 wall is blank. It's 6 stories tall, and there's 2 of these, so I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get some scaffolding or something in here, because it's totally sealed off. Can't really get scaffolding in there. Definitely can't get hydraulics lifts in there. Ladders aren't gonna work. What if I made 2 paintings, we scanned them at super high resolution, and then we printed them out on vinyl, and we stuck them to the wall, like print your own mural, 6 stories tall, which is pretty crazy. And then there was the issue of like, well, how does the vinyl guy get up there? But I guess this paint company has these things called pump jacks that can fit in there. And I couldn't use the pump jacks because now the timeline was getting so close that I wouldn't have time to actually make a mural, because I had my next mural coming up. So it's been a wild project. I've been coordinating with like making the paintings, the vinyl guy, Bellevue Fine Art Reproduction, the art scanning place, coordinating with the guy who owns the apartment building, who's also coordinating with the painters. There's just a lot of moving pieces. Like normally I just do everything on my own. I show up, I paint the mural, it's done, it's awesome. But this one's definitely weirder. So this is the story of that project coming together. 6-story, print your own, stick it on the wall murals. Let's see how this goes. I still have no idea if this is gonna work or not. All right, so I cut up my concept art here, printed each of these out actual size, cut them up, taped them together. I painstakingly designed these in Adobe Photoshop, and the client likes them. Now I'm gonna lay down some transfer paper, basically trace the artwork that I've already done here, and get the concept art transferred onto my panels. All right, it's time. It's really weird making paintings when you know that they're gonna be printed 24 times the size that you're actually painting them at. How do you like take a painting that you're making in your bedroom, basically, and imagine it being 6 stories tall? This project was definitely sort of like mental Olympics for me, because every single stroke that I made on the canvas, I was imagining it 24 times larger, or whatever the scale is. But sometimes you just gotta forget about all that and just start painting. I really wanted these pieces to be sort of images of creating a fantasy world out of your own mind. The central character on both of them are actually portraits of my wife. She's got a very active imagination. That's one of the reasons why I love her so much. She comes up with stuff that every day she blows my mind. She's a freaking weirdo, and that's why I like her. So there's this sort of central character that's a bit more realistic, and then as it moves down the piece, I wanted to depict some wildlife and have it sort of get stranger as it continues down. One of the pieces has the word pine written on it, and that's to talk about the apartments that are the First and Pine Apartments, but also to ground it to the northwest where I'm from, the evergreen state. There's pines everywhere. The eagle to me represents power and wisdom and vision, and the wolf represents community. You know, wolf packs, they survive off of their community. These murals are going into a community space, an apartment complex where many people are going to be living together. I just thought that might be a good concept to include. The lorem ipsum thing on the sweater is just sort of like a little bit of humor. It's the placeholder that's used pretty much universally for designers. When there's supposed to be text in a designed product, they use this sort of text block that starts with lorem ipsum. I've done so much design work in my career, and you know, life without comedy is not worth living, so throw a little bit of that in there. As part of the deal on these projects, the apartment owner said I get to keep the 2 originals after I'm done, and this painting actually sold via my Instagram before I was even done with it, so that was super tight. So this painting has actually already got a good home, and that's really exciting because, I don't know, I really like it, and I hope somebody else does too. All right, so I just finished up this painting here and we're just trying to rush out and get in the car and go over to the art scanning place because it closes pretty soon here. But I want to get this first one dropped off there so they can start scanning it at like a super high resolution so that we can print it out like the size of a building. Super excited to be done with this. It was like 6 days, 6 like 8-hour days. On to the next one, but first to the art scanner. So let's do this. We made it. Bellevue Fine Art Reproduction, simply the finest in scanning in the Seattle area. Hey, Scott!
Hey, Peter, how you doing? Come on in. Long time no see. Glad you could bring this into us. Let's put this up on the counter here where it's safe.
Sweet.
Safest spot.
What do you think you're gonna, are you just gonna scan like little sections and like make it super huge?
There's a limit to how close I can pull it and what resolution I can get out of it.
Yeah. This is the magic room.
So this is the magic room. This is where we scan everything, and this is our magic board right here. So this is a 450 megapixel scan back camera.
Wow.
It has a lot of pixels, but all pixels are not created equal.
Right.
And 500 DPI in this thing is...
These are the good pixels.
These are really big pixels,
nice.
And they're very defined, and so we can actually do a lot with them.
Look, our goal is for it to look like it's as close to a real mural as possible.
Number one is done.
These pieces kind of are a breakthrough for me. They're sort of a breakthrough moment because when I make my murals, I really meticulously plan everything. I do very complete concept art to show the client. I mock it up super extensively in the computer so the client doesn't really have to use much imagination to understand what the aesthetic that I want to provide for their space. But when I do my paintings, I don't do that as much. I just kind of go for it and I kind of like take it a little bit less seriously, I guess. Approaching these two paintings from the perspective of it being a mural and really planning things out and making sure that they looked the way that I wanted them to look even before I put the first bit of paint on the canvas, I think created a better finished product. And it taught me maybe I should do that for all my paintings, and I could become a better painter if I actually became more thoughtful about my art and less like, let's just see what happens. You know, it's always really fun to just explore your creativity and just kind of go for it sometimes. But I also think that doing this approach and being very thoughtful and careful about the art that you're creating can be super beneficial sometimes. And hopefully I can achieve a balance of spontaneity, but also thoughtfulness. All right, it's been 2 weeks of painting straight and I just finished up my second panel. Gonna run on over to Bellevue Fine Art and get that all scanned. Gonna actually pick up the last piece I had scanned. They sent me back one. It looks beautiful, super high resolution, super huge file. So this is kind of the stressful part. How's it gonna look when we blow it up 6 stories tall? But my work is done. I've painted the pieces, I'm happy with them, and hopefully they look super dope when they're installed on the building. All right, let's go to Bellevue. So does it like shoot a beam into there and reflect back into its own lens or something?
Yep.
The science.
I was painting and I was looking for a place to reproduce my work, and I was traveling a lot doing consulting, so everywhere I went I would have a piece of mine scanned, and I finally decided that this should be a thing in Seattle. And so I did, and that was the scary part. So the first thing I did was took out a loan against the house, and I just went out and bought a whole bunch of equipment. So I could tell from the very beginning that there was a market. And the reason I could tell that was, as I was buying the equipment, I was still living in Japan. So I set up the business, I gave it a phone number. I had a Vonage phone and it was sitting in my house in Japan. I built out the website. And as I was building out the website, it wasn't even announced or launched or anything. And all of a sudden the phone started ringing off the hook in the middle of the night, like every night.
Because of the time difference in Japan?
And people were searching for fine art scanning and they were finding me, and I hadn't even announced the website yet. And so I'm like, I really got to get back to Seattle and get this thing going. That's how I got started. And this continues to be really kind of the finest fine art scanning setup in the Northwest, really. There is no better.
This is fucking sketchy.
Wait till we get to the roof.
This is stuntman Travis performing all the stunts today. Travis Selling from Crimson Raps and Graphics, only the best in vinyl production and art installation.
Something like that.
But don't call him again for something like this. I don't think he'll do it.
I'm charged.
Yeah. You got anything you want to say?
Not yet.
I think we're gonna have to use the bleep button on this one. So now we are on the roof. Holy cow. This is hella sketch. This is the vinyl. All right, man, I'm here to film and I'm here to help, so.
Load it in through the window.
There he goes through the window. You want me to hand you the vinyl? Got it?
Yeah.
Don't fall backwards, bro. Sketchy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So it is install day here at the mural. It's been way too long. It's been like 2 months since the last video clips you guys were looking at. This project has finally come together through many twists and turns and ups and downs. It's been a tough one to figure out. I don't know if this is the best solution, but here we are. It's going up. It's starting to look really cool. I mean, it's just the very first piece of the very first wall, but everybody's been doing their jobs awesomely and it's coming together. So it's really exciting for me. Plus it's fun like watching one of my murals go up without me having to do anything. Like all my work is done. Of course I'm helping out Travis today, but yeah. This is an exciting moment. So I guess Travis didn't have all the right equipment yesterday, so I'm back at the installation again, day 2. Gonna see if we can get this thing hung up. And the door's locked, so I guess I gotta text him and see if he can let me in. And thank you, sir. And he's rocking the 10 Hun gear. Gam, baby, limited edition hat. Y'all don't even know about that. I don't even know if I have any of those left. That's sick. Holy cow, it feels like we're doing real graffiti, crawling through windows and stuff. Dang, you got far, man. It's so awesome. So you're on strip number 4 or 5? Almost halfway?
Almost.
So Travis is on this 6th piece, installing them piece by piece. He said this is the most sketchy section because it's too low for these pump jacks way up here and pretty high for the ladder, so gotta be real careful on this section. My wife is watching my shop by herself. I don't usually like to have that happen just because, you know, Seattle, it's a nice place, but there's some shady characters walking around, so I'm gonna try and film him finishing up this strip, and then he's gonna be finishing up on Monday, so I'll come back down and get this wall in all of its glory. I'm super excited how it's looking so far. I honestly thought it was gonna be like way more pixelated and maybe the colors were gonna be off, but it's looking super beautiful so far. It's really interesting like watching my mural appear in strips. Can you call it a mural? Is it a mural? It's a big art installation, I think is probably the best word for it. I'm just having terrible visions of Travis coming off of that ladder in a way that he doesn't want to, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's coming along. Back here at the mural site on the installation, it's actually been quite some time since the last time I picked up with you guys. We had to turn the entire lift operation around because Travis was too far from the wall. But he's back here on site putting up some vinyl. Hopefully this is gonna be the last day and it'll be installed. I don't know how long I can stay here on the rooftop cooking in the sun. I might have to come back and get the final shots, but the first wall is going up. Then we got to move the entire pump jack operation over to the next light well, so that he can put up the second one. It's turned into quite the complex project, but it's looking awesome, and the prints came out super good. I'm really happy with how they came together. So we're just gonna keep on putting this thing up, and yeah, I'm really excited. So print a mural, going good. I'm walking from my shop Statix in Pioneer Square down to Pike Place Market to go look at the final installation of the mural. It's been a long time since I started this. I don't know how long it's been, maybe like 6 months, maybe? I've lost track. I have to go back and check that out. But Travis finished installing the stuff, and now I'm just gonna go check it out. Yeah, excited to see the final. This is crazy. 6 stories tall, printed out mural. Finally done, checking it out for the first time. Crazy project. This is super rad. Thank you to the First and Pine Apartments for having me do this crazy thing. Thank you to Travis at Crimson Wraps and Graphics. Thank you to folks at Bellevue Fine Art Reproduction. It was a team effort and it came out super tight. My mind is blown. I can't believe this worked. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you like what I do, maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm always doing crazy stuff like this. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you to my patrons who support me on a monthly basis. Super rad. You can sign up for Patreon and get some cool behind the scenes stuff and some little treats and some discounts and all the fun stuff that you can't get anywhere else. The link is in the description. Check that out if you want to. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one. I don't know if it'll be as weird as this one. This is a crazy project, but stay tuned. More coming soon. Thanks. I'm 1000. Peace out.